No spaces allowed. This is the Amazing Atheist broadcasting live from the darkest depths of hell, otherwise known as my garage. I am a atheist, as you might have gathered. I'm also a libertarian, as you might know if you've watched my earlier videos, but you probably haven't, so... But now you know. Anyway, I'm a libertarian. Libertarian, atheist. I think those two things go hand in hand pretty often, strangely enough, or not strangely enough, or whatever. But, as a libertarian, I have an issue with you. Mainly my issue is that you cite all these things in the Bible as proof of Christian immorality, rather. But the thing is, then most Christians don't believe those things, which is kind of weird. That's kind of weird. I mean, I don't see how you could say, wow, Christians have really overcome this stuff. Therefore, what? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't get the argument. I'm sure that I guess you're saying that they ignore these things, and it's probably good they ignore those things. Good for all of us. I think we should point those things out for them just to say, hey, Christians, look at all the shit it says in your book. Now, let me ask you a question. If you had to go all the way to this book, or all the way to atheism, our side, which would you choose? I think most of them would probably choose us. I would hope most of them would choose us. We do seem to be the morally superior choice. Let's see. But I have another issue. I have a more important issue with what you had to say. Because you cited a lot of things as examples of immorality, which I don't really find immoral. Let's defend these three things that you have decried, okay? Basically, incest, polygamy, cannibalism. Yes, I'm going to defend all three. Incest, okay, the reason incest is wrong and immoral by our standards is because of the limits of the genetic fucking some word that I can't remember. I'm fucking stupid. Anyway, it fucks up the gene pool because all the fucking genes are the same. There's some fucking word. There's not enough diversity. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no biodiversity. Is it biodiversity? I don't know. Tell me if I'm using that word right. Diversity is good and all that shit. So, two recessive genes get together. The recessive genes are more likely to come out, and we end up with fucked up looking children. Children with like 5 eyes and 6 penises and horns and all that kind of crap. Anyway, so that's why incest is bad. But that means that, really, there shouldn't be any sort of morality against gay incest, and there shouldn't be any sort of morality against incest that doesn't produce any offspring. But we have a natural ick factor built into our brains because of evolution. But I think that now that we recognize that that's the reason that we think incest is wrong, we can say maybe incest isn't wrong, even though we believe it is, even though we have a natural, oh god, that's disgusting, revulsion to that. Okay? So, follow me on. We're going to go on to polygamy. Polygamy, I don't even see how anyone could fucking think polygamy is wrong. I don't even understand how that could have evolved evolutionary-wise. I guess it's because it limits partners for certain people, and it makes it's kind of a holdover, I think, from that thing where the top lion gets to breed with the most females, but with humans we took it a fucking step too far, and Solomon had like 200 wives and 300 concubines or some shit like that. Anyway, he had way more women than he could ever possibly fuck. If he fucked a new woman every day of every year, it would take him like 2 or 3 years to fuck all his wives. So that's why, Solomon, I don't know. We're probably all descended from Solomon if that's the fucking case. So that again goes against biodiversity, so I guess that's probably the same reason why he didn't get it. So basically, incest and polygamy are wrong for the same reason, I guess. But, now that we recognize those things, I mean, we could maybe limit the number of wives or husbands, because women could have multiple husbands too, of course, under my system, because I believe that people should be able to enter into any social contract that they want to. So, alright, so we have women fucking multiple guys and guys fucking multiple girls, and I don't see any problem with that, do you? And, as long as they're both all consenting and everyone agrees and there's no sort of men are better or women are better, no one's better unless they decide that they want to be better or worse than anyone else. And that's just social contract. That's responsibility. That's freedom. That's what we call liberty. That's why we're called libertarians. Okay, now cannibalism, that's the tough one. Cannibalism is the real iffy one, because we had this guy in Germany, I don't know what his name was, it was like Muse or something, but he ate some other guy's cock, basically, in the most literal sense, and the guy helped him eat it, too. I mean, they both chopped, it was a consenting thing. So that kind of takes the consenting adult argument to its most grisly conclusion. I don't know. That was kind of weird. I'm not sure if I'm here to defend that one or not. That's kind of really really weird. I mean, you have to have some serious psychological problems going on. Maybe we should say, okay, you can do it, but only if you go through like a year of therapy apiece first and, you know, decide that you really, really want to fucking do that. But I think that, you know, consenting adult, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to defend the idea of eating children. That's really, I mean, you know, they don't have any fighting defense, and they're not adults, and they can't enter into contracts. And but anyway, I think that all those things are permissible under certain circumstances, under my personal morality of freedom. People have the freedom to choose to do anything that they want to, as long as it doesn't limit the freedom of someone else, because that would be tyranny in itself. We can't have people replacing the tyrants of government. We're not going to trade one totalitarian ideal for another. We have to have individual freedom, and the only way to protect individual freedom is to limit certain individual freedom when it affects other individual freedoms. That's all. Peace, fuck off, die, happiness. I wish you 1,000 blessings. May you have many virgins in heaven. Thank you. Bye-bye.